Welcome back to SnowRunner, guys, and in this video, we are going to be checking out a new mod by Franklin Diaz. Now, this is the RSG Metalworks Toyota 4Runner, and this is basically their company rig slash promotional rig, and they are a company that make Toyota body armor and basically rock sliders and things like that. So, really cool company rig, and I cannot wait to take it out into the obstacles and out onto this course and test it out for you guys. So, there's been a lot of interesting representation of the sort of 4Runner community and 4Runner brand in SnowRunner lately, and this one is probably the most extreme one. I mean, obviously, it's fully solid axle swapped, as is the real one, or sort of the real version of this particular 4Runner, because it has gone through extensive work to turn it into a dedicated trail rig that can kind of sort of still be driven on the street. So, with all that being said, we've got a few different engine options right here. We've got the stock V6, we've got a V8 option, and we've also got a 4.7 V8 option. Now, for our testing purposes, I think I'm going to go with the mid-range engine, the mid-range V8. And then after that, we're definitely going to go with the SnowRunner gearbox to give us full access to our crawler gears and stuff like that. And then suspension-wise, we actually have one more suspension option. We have the standard medium, and then we have the high suspension, which the high suspension doesn't lift it all that much, but I'm sure it gives us a lot more travel and a lot more flex, and so that's the option we're going to go with this time. So as far as tires go, we have 43s in terms of all of our different options. However, those look a bit small. And let's see. So obviously, these are going to be a bit smaller, a bit more narrow, and then these 43-inch Toyo Open Countries definitely look to be a bit beefier, maybe both taller and wider, so we're going to stick with those. And then winch-wise, we're going to go with an autonomous Scout, and snorkel-wise, we may as well go ahead and throw a snorkel on it in case we do need to go through deep water. And let's see, we have hood protector, we have, oh, okay, I see, and a ladder, which I'm sure would go on the back, yep, and then hood tracks. Oh, okay, cool. All right, so we're going to do a hood protector, a ladder, and we may as well do the tracks as well. I mean, I'm not opposed to doing the tracks. I don't know if I'd do... Well, you know what? I'm not actually the biggest fan of how they look on there, so I think I'll go ahead and let them chill in the shop for now. And then definitely the light bar up top, and definitely the trunk supplies. And we have a really cool options list when it comes to wheels. We have, let's see, TRD S234, S2DO, and then these SR5 wheels, and then these DEF 122 wheels. I'm actually going to go with, these. They look good. They look ready. I mean, they look ready to take on just about whatever you want to throw at it. Now, this is a single color rig, so it's basically true to this real life rig, and there isn't any interior customization, but I'm not too worried about that on a rig like this. And let's go ahead and take it out and see what it can do. Now, we are on the Top Truck Challenge map, the sort of Hollister Hills replica map, and I think it... What the heck? Didn't want to do that. All I wanted to do was turn my all-wheel drive on, but either way, we definitely are not going to go through the very first obstacle backwards like we did the last time we were here. And, oh, dude, the interior looks awesome. I love it. You could actually, like, look all the way to the back, and you can kind of sort of see the trunk repair supplies all the way in the back, but really cool, like, well-done interior. I mean, the dash is just an image. It does not move, but I'm not really bothered by that at all. So let's go ahead and head through here. Like I said, I was informed that last time I came to this map, I went through it backwards. So I'm definitely going to focus on not going through this obstacle backwards this time. So let's see how she does. Right off the bat, it's got a lot of torque, and you can tell it's got a lot of torque. All-wheel drive is switchable, or should I say four-wheel drive. Four-wheel drive is switchable, and diff lock is always on. So definitely a more trail-focused rig. Whoa! Oh, dude, that looks awesome, though. The amount of articulation you can get out of this thing is great, like with the coilovers and everything. Oh, that's a beastly shot right there. That looks great. That looks absolutely great. Gonna adjust the in-game time a little bit. Walking through these obstacles pretty well. Now, to be fair, though, this is a lot more narrow than that Top Truck Challenge Bronco that we brought through here, and so it is kind of sort of able to squeeze its way between the rocks, unlike how the Bronco was able to. So in terms of that, I mean, we will definitely give this thing a little bit more rock testing on some other areas of the map. But let's go through this mud and water obstacle, See how it does through here. Currently, we're just, like, running through an automatic mode, and it seems to be doing just fine. Also, let's see how the lights look. Oh, they look great. Wow, the light bars work. And I love how he actually fully modeled the winch there on the front as well. Man, this thing is very capable. Very, very, very capable. Easy does it. Oh, walking the back end around. It was a little iffy on that, you could tell, but it settled into place. And also, it seems as though the wheelbase is a little bit more okay with this obstacle than the wheelbase on the Bronco was. But then again, I mean, you could see this last one, it had a little bit of trouble with, but it made it out of it just fine. So let's go ahead and repair and refuel this thing, and let's head to a different obstacle now. Now, I'm not obviously going to do every single obstacle on the whole map, but there are a few others down this way that I would like to check out that I didn't actually check out when I was using the Bronco, so this could actually give me a really nice opportunity to test those out. So, let's see. Now, I'm not sure where that trail goes. We might be able to find out. Whoa! I've actually never been down there before, so let's give it a little bit of a look and see. Now, there's a yield sign. Ooh. But at the same time, there's also like an end county maintained road right there, and that would be a cool one to try. I actually have never tried that trail, so let's give that a shot and see how that feels. So right off the bat, definitely getting into a very, very slick, muddy, you know, lumber covered trail scenario, but this thing just walks right up it. Doesn't even bother to care about that. Wow. Yeah, capability-wise, this thing seems to be right up there with the Bronco. The only thing that I could see the Bronco taking this thing on is probably areas where the Bronco's width would come into play, and I believe the Bronco also has moderately larger tires, like not by a big margin, but definitely by some margin. So, wow, though, this thing, like, it looks great doing what it does. It looks great going down the trails. I have nothing but good things to say about the way this thing looks doing what it does. I love how he modeled everything, too, because, like, when it gets twisted up in the rocks and you can actually see everything, it does look pretty good. Now, granted, it's not necessarily the most detailed undercarriage you're going to see, but it's perfectly fine, in my opinion, for what this mod is for. And as far as the driving dynamics go, I think he did a really good job. Let's see if we can rework that line a little bit there. Or maybe if we could just bump it a little harder and get the thing to slide into position. Easy does it. Yeah, like I said, the way it drives is really smooth. Really smooth driving, and you don't feel like it's going to bottom out on every obstacle it comes into contact with, which is kind of an issue when you're doing, you know, trail riding in some of these vehicles, because a lot of them do feel like you're going to bottom out all the time. This one, you don't really ever have that issue, and the way the suspension is tuned is perfect for this kind of stuff. You could tell it was tuned for trail work. Let's just kind of squeeze our way between these rocks here. Make our way up the other side. Come on. There we go. Easy does it. I am glad, though, that I have the dev tools on for this map, because we are able to use that to our advantage to give this thing some trail side repairs if we need to. And it may need them after a run through this trail. Even after halfway through this trail, I'm like, you know what? I might as well... Ow! Dude, this trail goes on for a ways. Like a really good ways. I'm sure it could handle the rest of this trail, but I do want to check out some other areas of the map before we before we finish the test. So let's go ahead and head down that side trail that we were originally going to go down. And now, full disclosure here, I have never been this way before, and so who knows? I might be doing it backwards, and I'm sure the comment section will let me know if I'm doing this section backwards. Oh boy. Well, actually, maybe not. That almost looks like it's going to be a dedicated mud pit section. So let's get a little bit of run up, because there is a jump right there at the beginning. All right, 3, 2, 1, go! Come on! There's fourth gear. Now, keep in mind, this is the off-road gearbox, so it's not going to be all that fast, but let's see how she does. Put it into auto mode. First gear, it's holding its own pretty well. It's not the fastest thing in the mud. It's not necessarily a dedicated mud rig, but it's still very good, and I don't have any complaints about it at all. It actually feels pretty realistic in terms of mud, because the deeper the mud gets, or I should say the deeper this thing gets in the mud, the more you have to slow it down, and the more you have to be aware of how far you're going into said mud, because you can get it stuck. You can beach it. Are these all winch points? Oh, what the heck? Really? Oh my god, these are all winch points. Jeez. I don't think they let you do that on the actual Top Truck Challenge, but hey, the fact that they let you do it here is actually really good, because if you did need to get your rig out of the mud in like an emergency scenario, you could just move it along out of the mud, and your buddy could just go ahead and take on the mud pit. So that is a nice feature to have on this map. A really, really, really nice feature. Let's just ease it down just a little bit further. I love this tube bumper they have on the back, where they actually have a trailer hitch that goes through the tube bumper. Really cool way they've done that. And, you know, of course, the rock sliders / side steps combined with their metal bumper on the front with the light bar. Looks really, really good. And for some reason, every single 4Runner that I've ever seen with a snorkel literally just looks better because of it. I've never seen a bad-looking snorkel on a 4Runner, or at least I should say a snorkel that makes a 4Runner look bad, because there really aren't any snorkels that make a 4Runner look bad. So what's gonna come up next on this course? Whoa! I have a couple of different options here. I'm gonna go straight just to see. Oh, there's another trail right there as well. There's so many hidden trails out here, man, that like there would be a lot of exploring to be done before you actually found not only before you found every single one, but before you explored every single one. Whoa! Didn't realize that was gonna be as deep as it was. Sketchy though. I mean, this thing definitely took it. I'm actually impressed at the amount of angle it was able to get up to before stalling. Wow, that's impressive on that one. That's tremendously impressive on that one. Let's see if we can just make it a little bit further on down. These are deep ruts through here, like really deep ruts. We got a giant hill at the end there, too. Easy does it on through. Not bad. Just gonna try and position myself in such a way that I don't roll over through that one. Man, you get into some twisty angles through here. Some really twisty angles. I'm gonna kind of go around the outer edge of that rock because I didn't want to get this thing hung up on the underside. Easy. Oh, it's getting a little bound up on that side. Even though we do have the diffs locked, it's sort of gotten itself into a weird bind right there. I am going to skip this section real quick because I would like to try it on that big hill at the end. Because I know for a fact it can make it through this bit here, and I will fully take every vehicle, not every vehicle, but I will take vehicles all the way through this section in the future because this is a dedicated test on its own. But I do really want to give that hill a shot at the end. I'm sure it should be able to make it. I think. There's always that bit of me that's like, yeah, it should be able to make it. I think. All right. Get into it flat out. Let's go. Shifted up into 4th gear. Shifted up into 5th gear, but it's not going to like that. Ooh. Ooh, the transmission got a little unhappy there. I think keeping it in 3rd is probably by far the best option. Actually, keeping it in high is probably the best. That way I won't even try to shift. And there it is at the top of the hill. Not a bad job at all from this 4Runner. I think it did a really good job on the course. I know there was that one section where we kind of bypassed it a little bit, but we got a pretty good idea of the way it would perform there. So if you guys enjoyed this test, then make sure to let me know your thoughts and opinions on this rig in the comments down below. I will also be leaving a link to this rig and to this map in the description of the video. I almost said the comments, but the description of the video. And if y'all enjoyed, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see y'all next time.